Throughout history, there have been countless unexplainable stories, events, and moments captured on audio. These horrifying tapes were archived, never to be heard again. Until now. These are the tapes of trepidation. Tape number 41. What's under my bed? To whoever reads this, I didn't run away. And I didn't commit suicide. My life may not be great right now, but I still want to see what else it has in store for me. I'm recording this in case I'm gone tomorrow, since I'm absolutely terrified that I might be. This is going to sound so stupid, but if anyone hears this and you want to know what really happened to me, this is it. I've always had a fear of what may be lurking under my bed. Ever since I was a child, I'd always run and jump to get on the bed. I always thought if I took too long, then something would grab me. Just silly kid stuff, right? Maybe it comes from growing up in the system. Always feeling a little unsafe. I don't know. Unfortunately, I know this is not all just in my head. It all started about a year ago. I turned 22 and finally decided to get over my fear. Up until that point, I would run into my room and jump onto the bed every single night. As you can imagine, it's pretty embarrassing to bring someone back to your dorm room to hook up only to then run and jump onto your bed like that. Last person who came over just kind of laughed and was like, "What are you doing?" Talk about a mood killer. It was the next night I finally decided to face this stupid fear. I walked right over to my bed that night, got down on the ground, and looked straight under my bed. And to my surprise, there was nothing there. No monsters, no weird demon motherfuckers, and certainly no serial killers. I felt like such an idiot, but I was glad to finally have faced that fear. I even decided to sleep with my hand hanging over the bed that night. Something I would never, ever do before. It's not like anything would happen, right? I woke up around 3 a.m. that night to a strange feeling. Something I've never experienced before. Something had touched my hand. I immediately shot up, grabbed my cell phone, and shined the light at the ground. But there was nothing. I jumped out of bed and turned on the lights to look under the bed. There was nothing. I thought I had just imagined it. Of course, the first night I was facing a fear I'd had my whole childhood, I'd imagined something like that. I laughed to myself and went back to bed. Then, 2 nights later, it happened again. It was so distinctive. but at my feet this time. Something brushed a hand against my foot, so gently. I freaked out and turned on the light. Again, there was nothing in the room with me, or under the bed. For the rest of the week, I decided to sleep with the lights on. After that week, I was exhausted. I needed total darkness to fall asleep. So against my better judgment, I turned off the lights. A few nights went by and nothing happened. So I decided Saturday night that I'd have a friend over. Just another day in the life of your average college student. Color me shocked when they woke up saying they felt something grab at their foot. They violently shook me awake and asked if I had a roommate. They ended up leaving when I told them no. They thought I was playing a trick on them. Story of my fucking life. The next night, something major happened. It was so distinctive and it scared me awake. It was a grab. Not super aggressive, but it was very much real. Like a large hand grabbed my foot for just a second. I awoke and looked down, but I didn't see anything. This is when I thought I was going crazy. Over the last few weeks, things like this would happen. I'd feel something brush against me or a hand grab me. Hell, a few times I'd even caught glimpses of something. All the while, I felt like I was constantly being watched. Now I'm recording this because last night was really bad, and I'm seriously scared to death. I woke up around 2 a.m. for a glass of water, and as I turned away from the wall and opened my eyes, there was a large face staring at me, right at eye level. The face was horrific. It definitely wasn't human. This thing had these massive eyes and a long face. It stared for a moment. Then it started to smile. It didn't have any teeth, which somehow made it even creepier. Then it slowly slid back under the bed, while it let out a low chuckle. I jumped out of bed and ran into the hallway. No way could I sleep in that bed or stay in that room another minute. Which brings us to now. I tried to crash with other people tonight, but no one will let me. I have nowhere to go, and I'm so tired. I don't have a choice but to stay in my room tonight. I could tell by the look in that thing's eyes that it wanted to hurt me. And that it's pure evil. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll wake up tomorrow just fine. But if I'm gone tomorrow, just know that whatever is under my bed took me.
Hello there. It's me, your friend from under the bed. Perhaps you thought I wasn't real. That it's just an irrational childhood fear. That the thought of something grabbing at your feet while you walk to your bed, or touching your hand if it hangs over the side a little too low, was just irrational. Well, it isn't. Keep telling yourself I'm not really there. Watching you sleep. Kneeling mere inches away from the back of your head. While you face away from me. And enter into that deep sleep. You know as well as I do that some nights you can feel my breath on the back of your neck. That you can hear me as I unfurl myself from underneath the bed. There's always one spot on your floor that creaks ever so slightly. Such a bother. Don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. Yet. Just keep sleeping, dreaming, and one day, perhaps when you awaken from a nightmare looking for solace in the waking world, you'll see me kneeling beside your bed at eye level as you turn over, my eyes peering into you, smiling. Now, get some rest. Sleep is so very important.
This has been tape number 42. This has been tape number 41. What's Under My Bed? By the Tapes of Trepidation Horror Narration Podcast. I'm writing this in case I'm gone tomorrow. The first part of the story in this episode was written by TJ Hodder and was originally posted on Reddit No Sleep, Scary Stories, and the Dread Files subreddits, repurposed for this episode. A Message from Under the Bed, the second part of this story, was written by TJ Hodder. Narration, production, and sound design for this episode was by TJ Hodder. Credit for the music for this episode can be found in the show notes. The Tapes of Trepidation theme was written by the incredible J.M. Scherf. All logos, banners, overlays, and graphic design work was provided by the talented Jason Reese from Jaber Digital Arts. If you have a story you would like to submit, or a question regarding the show, please contact us at tapesoftrepidation@gmail.com. Support the show by subscribing and leaving a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcatcher, or like and subscribe on YouTube. And be sure to tell your friends. Word of mouth is extremely helpful to a podcast like this one. Check us out on social media through the link tree in the show notes. We have Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Discord. And if you use Discord and you haven't joined the Tapes of Trepidation server, come hang out with us. We have a lot of fun over there. And if you'd like to support the show a little more, consider joining the Tapes of Trepidation Patreon. Well, for as little as $5 a month, you can gain access to monthly bonus short story narrations, the weekly behind-the-scenes podcast within the archive, and more. Come, join us, and become trapped within the archive, just like my current patrons: Neil Skarupa of Neurotic Voice, Doozer Pin Dan, Ronan Gamori from Baseline Feed, Eric Phones, and Patrick Stewart. Thank you all so much for the support. All content used on Tapes of Trepidation is either original, used with permission, or is available on your Creative Commons share-alike license. All rights reserved, unless otherwise stated. This podcast and its content may not be redistributed or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Tapes of Trepidation and the story's author. Thank you so much for listening.